Welcome to the Cabral Concept, where board-certified naturopath and integrative health practitioner Dr. Stephen Cabral shares how he was diagnosed at the age of 17 with a life-altering illness and given no hope for recovery. It was only after studying and traveling all over the world did he discover how to combine ancient Ayurvedic healing practices with state-of-the-art naturopathic and functional medicine to fully rebalance the body and re-energize it with life. It's time to discover how to get well, lose weight, and finally feel alive again. And now, here's your host, Dr. Stephen Cabral.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the show. Great to be here with you on this Friday review, episode 2590 of the Cabral Concept. This is our Friday review where we give a little bit of a taste of some scientific research that I think is absolutely crucial that you and your family know about. I've got a disappointing one this week. I don't typically share these things, but this is super disappointing to me, especially as someone who's working right now on an upcoming longevity-based course and longevity project. I think that these advanced renewal-based systems are the future. Really, they are the absolute future of anybody interested in taking care of their mind and body. And it has to do with one of the leading researchers. So again, I want to give credit where credit's due, but I also just want to share with you the harms, right? The effects of big pharma and what this does, really in our industry. So I'm going to share that with you. I've got good news, a lot more bright side on product reviews. I've got some amazing exercise equipment that I want to share and much more to come, as well as a book review that just came out over the last couple of weeks. An interesting one on mindset and also like getting things done in your life, an easier way of looking at it. So I'll share that, a podcast recap of this past week and so much more. So let's dive into the show. I'm excited to share because this year I'll be heading off to a nice sunny location for spring break for my daughters next week. So as they're getting older and their school vacations seem to be changing each year, they get a week off this March. And I'm excited to be able to take a nice little family trip with them. I'm sure I'll be able to give some updates, some Instagram stories of what it's all about, but really looking for this time off with my family. I am someone who tries to create as much balance as I can in my life. I work a lot, but I also spend, quite a good amount of, I think, quality time with my family, my wife, my daughters, and then as much as I can with extended family as well. But during these times too, it's also nice to be able to say, okay, from kind of sun up, from sundown, this time is yours. And we get to kind of come up with what we want to do for the day. And yes, often it is planned with all sorts of different adventures and things like that, which I love to do rather than just saying, what do you want to do? What do you want to do? I'm bored. I like to just at least have things to pick from. So that'll be exciting for me as well on the different plane flights. And I'm sure before the rest of my family's up, as I usually do, it will give me a little time for me to continue to finish out my content for this big longevity project I have coming up that will hopefully affect all of you in a positive way in just over the next 3 to 4 weeks. So stay tuned for that. Really something I've wanted to do for quite some time, but I wanted to get all of our wellness protocols and our IHPs situated with what they need. So all of those have basically been completely simplified, which I'll be sharing right around the June, July timeframe. So again, always stay tuned if you can, because you're going to be looking at much easier protocols for both children and adults for mold, for heavy metal, for parapro support, parasite, intestinal cleanse, and so much more. We're going to make them like super easy for practitioners and clients, wellness clients all over the world as well. So I've finished that. I've completed that. I feel really good about it. Of course, I'm someone that will never be finished. I always want to continue to advance and do my best for our community. But it's now allowing me to really move on to this next level of wellness, because once you're at your ideal weight for you, you've achieved wellness, you're healthy. What is there more that you can do? Well, now you can start to reverse your biological age. So if you're 55 years old, let's help you get to a biological age a decade younger. Let's get you younger so that you can live longer, but not just living longer, improving your overall health span. That means staying well longer, not just living longer. So excited to share that. Stay tuned. It's just about 2 weeks, 3 weeks away. And of course, I'll be announcing it right here on the podcast. All right, what's going on at EquiLife this week? A buy 3, get 1 free on the functional medicine detox. Why does this matter? Because our spring detox is just right around the corner. This is something that I personally do every 12 weeks. Before it was ever brought around, before EquiLife even existed, we were doing this in my Boston practice since about 2010. And by far and away, it is the biggest community builder that we have, meaning like people coming together from all over the world. We had a huge community detox, almost 50,000 people in January. And again, every 12 weeks, just doing a simple 7-day detox in order to be able to improve your overall wellness, your weight, and your anti-aging efforts. So this is a little bit earlier this year. It begins March 27th in our community. If you're asking, when is the next detox? It is officially March 27th. You can, of course, do yours earlier, later, whatever works for you. But Easter is a little bit earlier this year. It is, if I'm looking at my calendar right now, April 9th. So we didn't want to start it on April 3rd. Typically, we would have started it April 3rd because Easter is often a little bit later. But for everyone celebrating Easter and observing the holiday, I obviously did not want the detox to fall on that weekend. And it's a full 7 days. For many people, they'll be doing it for 14 or 21 days if it's their first one. And so I simply wanted to do it a little bit earlier. So we are all going to join together, providing support, of course, for free at cabralsupportgroup.com. Come one, come all. And for those completing the detox, why not get 1 free? Give it to a family member, a coworker, allow them to join in, or get 4 total people together. Purchase through one person, and you get 1 free to save $99. All right. So that is that. Head on over to stevencabral.com/shop this week while supplies last. Podcast recap for the week. So Monday was a fun show. Basically, it's a different way of thinking, a reframing. And I really and honestly believe that happiness in our life is more or less a reframing of how we see life. Life does not dramatically change. What happens is we change, and we change fundamentally through how we view the world. And so I just gave you one simple technique to use, and it's worked incredibly well for me and a lot of my private wellness clients. I wanted to share that with you. That was on Monday's show. All shows can be found at stevencabral.com/podcasts. And that was episode 2586. Tuesday's show was the 7 proven benefits of melatonin. So hopefully by now you know that melatonin works for sleep. Well, I tell you exactly how much to use for sleep, if you choose to, for children and adults. But I also give you all the different reasons why melatonin is amazingly beneficial as a nutritional supplement, but more so as something that you produce naturally. So if you're not producing it naturally, I also give you how to do that as well. All right. Then we have a case study on hormones and specifically how stress affects testosterone, how cortisol affects testosterone. Definitely check that out. And then on Thursday's show, I wanted to go through something that very few people have heard about. And it's called the disposable soma theory on longevity. I've heard many people refer to it as the disposable summer theory and on longevity, but it's technically called soma. And what it does is it gives us our best basis right now for why we even age in the first place. Like, why does the human body age? And if we know why, then we're able to then use lifestyle-based modalities, certain foods, etc., in order to be able to extend lifespan. And lo and behold, it seems to be working. And I'll share with you one of the scientists who's doing a lot of work on that right now, because I want to give credit where credit's due, and then I want to just call out also what shouldn't be done. And I'm going to do that in just a few moments. All right. So check that out. Disposable soma theory and longevity. I think everybody should know. I really believe like everyone should know why we age. And so we can also then understand how to age slower. And that's the goal. And then over the next 10 to 15 years, we will be able to reverse aging. Like, that is for sure. They've already shown it in the lab. It will come to fruition within the next 10 to 20 years. Like, without a doubt, it will. And so I just want everybody to be ready for that, because I think we live in amazing times. I don't know that it will help people get healthy, but it will help them reverse essentially cellular aging, which may in effect help to some degree on health, but I really think that people should get healthy, and then they're really going to be able to take advantage of this technology. And by technology, I mean not just like electronics, technology in forms of health tech and using reprogramming of cells, et cetera. All right. So we'll get more into that. That was last week. Again, all shows are at stephencabral.com/podcast, and you can search any one of the almost now 2,600 podcasts previous to this. All right, product reviews. We've got a lot more coming in this category. Part of my new longevity-based course is actually going to be based in some of that exercise. And I'm not talking about hardcore training, like not by any means. I'm actually going to be giving you 20-minute workouts. And so this is going to be straight to the point, nothing more, nothing less. If you're someone that likes to work out for an hour, that's up to you. But certainly that is not required in any way, shape, or form. And in essentially 3 days a week, you're going to be able to get those benefits. So again, excited to share that. I'm going to be giving you more and more links to equipment that if you want to do your workouts right at home, like I've decided to do. I worked out in a gym for the longest time. I've obviously owned multiple studios and loved those. But now for me, it's about time savings. So the gym closest to me that I would actually prefer to work out is about 20-25 minutes away. So by the time I get in, check in with the front desk, chat a little bit, or just go to the locker room, get changed, we're talking about 30 minutes. So 30 minutes there, 30 minutes back. That's an hour of my day. I'm not going to spend an hour of my day commuting to a gym. I'm just not. I actually did that for many years, but I'm not doing that anymore. So I'm going to spend this much in a gym membership. I put it towards my own equipment. And here's the nice thing. While I was doing all of my research, I found that you can essentially get, like this is just one example. I'm going to link it up here today. I have a $1,500 spin bike. I've done many spin classes. I have the equivalent of a $1,500 like Le Monde, if you've heard of Le Monde spin bikes, or Hoist for $179. So it's like almost $1,000. Well, it is more than $1,000 off, right? It's like $1,200 off. It's an incredible deal. So I've done the research for you. And again, instead of a spin bike, which I'm going to be doing for my upright bike, I paid, instead of $1,500 plus taxes and all that, I paid $179. And so I'm going to give you the link here today. It's actually on Amazon. It's $229 right now, but then they have another $50 off. It's Amazon, right? Like I'm not affiliated with this company, but it's pretty fantastic because, okay, if you just save that much money on a spin bike, and this is like a sturdy, strong spin bike, great. And you can adjust the handlebars, you can adjust the seat up and down, back and forth. So it's really good for pretty much any height for an adult. I'm going to share that with you. So that's easy. And then I also upgraded the seat, and the seat is a split seat. So for men, especially if they're worried about their prostate or prostate inflammation, this is a really nice seat to have. You don't have to. The previous one was comfortable, but I just wanted a split seat, and the split seat is like $29 or $30 or so, and I'll link that up as well. So I'm going to be giving you many more deals like this. I've done the research. I've got a squat rack that typically costs $1,500 to $2,000 for like $200, $250. I'll share that over the next coming weeks. And then I'll just put everything on the resources page as well. So all my resources are at stephencabral.com/resources. And then I'll be doing the same again for this longevity-based program. So just making it as easy as I can. And I think that by going to that page and me doing the research for you, you'll be able to, save the time. And most of these products, like 90%, 95%, I use myself. You'll see obviously some products that would not necessarily be meant for me or a man, but I can give you the recommendation because I've got them from other trusted resources as well. So yeah, definitely check that out. And always happy to do product reviews on anything you're interested. So head on over to stephencabral.com/2590, and I'll be able to link these up for you here today, including this next book review. So hopefully by the magic of technology, I can pop this book over my shoulder right here. It's called The Expectation Effect by David Robson. It was just released. I was able to grab a copy of it. This author actually, what was the name of the last book? It wasn't Tipping Point. Let me see if I can find that real quick for you because I read his last book and that's how I found out about this one. And I think, The Intelligence Trap. That was it. So The Intelligence Trap, I enjoyed that book, and I saw this one coming out. I love supporting authors as well. I don't know if that's strange or not, but when people take the time to write a book, I've written a few books. I know how hard it is. I know how much goes into it. So I typically, I want to support, and so I purchased the book as well. So I purchased this book. I did a pre-sale on it, meaning like I got it before it was even slated to come out. Got a copy. I paid for it, myself. And why I wanted to share this with you is that this was a really easily approachable book on mindset, but more from like the science side. And usually when it's from the science side, it's a bit more complicated to understand. But the author, David Robson here, did an easy job, like a great job of explaining the science, explaining the placebo effect, but also explaining like the placebo of the placebo effect. Because he goes into it sharing with people that, here's the thing. Most of us probably believe that, or understand the science by now, that if you went in for a pseudosurgery, so basically they'll have a group doing experimental surgeries, let's say on like knee replacement. And all they do is they open the skin on half of the people for the knee surgery, but they don't actually perform the surgery. And so they might just put some sutures in and that's it. And then for the other half of the people, they're actually doing the knee replacement. And they find that the people who didn't have the knee replacement fared just as well pain-wise as the people that had the procedure actually done for the whole knee replacement, like, months later. They've done this for cardiovascular risk. They've done this for even putting in stents in the arteries. I mean, it's unbelievable. And so I think most of us have heard that by now. We're like, okay, yeah, I get it. Well, here's the thing. You can use the same expectation as, oh, I had heart surgery, I must be getting better. I had knee surgery, my knees must feel better. You can use that in any area of your life. But you can also use it for the negative as well. And that's called the nocebo effect. So if you believe nothing good is going to come in your life, nothing good most likely will. Or if it does come, you won't be able to see it or hold on to it, and you'll only get more negative. The same thing can happen with positive. So it's not just positive thinking, it's positive expectation or negative expectation that can lead to negative results. If you have someone in your life, or you might be that person as well who could benefit from the expectation effect and actually using this to your advantage, I would check out this book. I found it easy to read. The author does a good job about it, good job with it. And I will link it up here today, just so that it's the actual, because you can have multiple people writing the same book name. That's actually not something that you can trademark. So I'll link it up, and again, it'll be easy. You'll be able to find it right on Amazon, etc. So head on over to stephencabral.com/2590. Have I been saying 2589? It is 2590 today's show today. stephencabral.com/2590. And apologies if I've been saying 89. Okay, so now let's go over to the research. I'm not going to end with this one. I'm going to end with one that's going to improve your skin. But I had to say this. Okay, because this was disappointing to me, and this is disappointing to me. All right, here's the thing, and I'm not going to allow this to be a filter on how I see this individual, because this happens. He's part of a larger company. It's not just him, but I'm going to share with you exactly what happened. All right. So I just pulled up the video. I'm going to link to the video for you. I actually found out first about this through Dr. Brad Stanfield, I think is it. And I'll link up to the letter. How's that? Because I don't want to throw anybody under the bus. But here's the thing. There's been a product well-researched by a scientist named David Sinclair. He's done amazing work in the field of longevity. One of the things that he's well known for, and again, like this is not the only thing he's known for, but one of the things he's well known for is the use of I don't want to say molecule, but a nutrient called nicotinamide mononucleotide. I've studied this very much in depth. I've studied all the different components of nicotinamide mononucleotide. I've studied nicotinamide riboside. I've studied all the different forms of nicotinamide riboside, as well as vitamin B3, niacinamide, niacin, and I've also studied how it boosts NAD, which is ultimately what we're trying to get to. So these are NAD boosters. Why does that matter? Well, when we're talking about longevity, when we're talking about all the anti-inflammatory, energy-based, mitochondrial-based, sirtuin-based, like all the things that you want to improve your overall energy and health span and lifespan. Well, nicotinamide mononucleotide, NMN, is one of those things that can do it. So much so that I actually included it in a proprietary formula we created called Cell Boost. One of those nutrients, along with quercetin and PQQ and astragalus, so many great nutrients, was NMN. And I did that because the research is really solid on it. I've also used it myself for 3+ years. So it's a great product. It's an expensive product. It really is. But it's open sourced, meaning anybody is able to purchase it anywhere online. And again, I want to thank David Sinclair for all the research that he's done on it. He's done an amazing job. But unfortunately, this is where it takes a little bit of a turn. He is part of a company called Metro Biotech. And I want to quote that, make sure that that is the exact name of it. Metro Biotech, yes. And he's the head of it. And they petitioned the FDA to take this nutritional supplement off of the market. Now, they know it works. They know that it helps people. Why would they take it off the market? Because they want to be the only one who is able to sell it. Because they've created a patented version of it. I wrote down the patented version. Let's see if I can find it here for you. It is essentially 3 letters plus the numbers. I'm going to find this for you because I think it's too important not to. And I popped it in I have an amazing regulatory team at EquiLife as well. And so I popped it in there as well, Metro Biotech. And I'm going to grab that for you. And, well, we'll type it right into old Google. Metro Biotech, NMN, patented ingredient. I know exactly what it is. So basically it's in a NMN crystalline version of it. And it is what they're hoping to use as basically a pharmaceutical. It's called MIB-626. And the goal then is to be able to take NMN out of stores, off of online, so that they are the only company that's able to sell this. And then they can sell it for any price they want, and they just push everybody else. Now, honestly, I don't care like whether EquiLife was used or not. Doesn't matter to me. It really doesn't. Like I don't care. By any stretch of the imagination, I literally do not care at all. Because here's the thing. Even if they took it off, well, you'd still then be able to use like nicotinamide riboside. But I like the NMN version. I like the base version. I like that it's the entire molecule that has the extra phosphate group. I like that. I think that's a great way to take it. So here's the thing, though. What I don't like is saying, okay, we're going to get this patented version, and then we're going to sell it for like, $500 million, $1 billion to a pharmaceutical company. Now they own it. And I think it's unfortunate. I think that if something is made naturally by the human body, that you shouldn't patent it and not allow others to use it for overall health. I just don't. I think David should be well compensated for all the research that he's done, and I believe that he is through all the grants that he receives at Harvard and MIT, et cetera. So again, I just want to share this. I'll actually be meeting with him. I believe I'll be meeting with him this March, and so I don't want this to come off as anything negative on him personally. I feel that the research that he's done has been tremendous. I think he's going to be leading the charge for many other people in this field as well in terms of longevity. I just wish, and I know that he's not the entire part of the company that he is the head of, but I just wish that they were not doing this to the general public. That if you have something that works, and it is great, that you are not trying to just use it for your own benefit and not that of humanity's. So anyway, I wanted to share that with you. They've already removed NMN from Amazon, and if Metro Biotech gets its way with the FDA, which, by the way, 75% of the FDA is paid by Big Pharma. So, 75% of their budget comes from Big Pharma. So who knows? We'll see if they have their way, but just wanted to share that. A little disappointed, and you may see NMN coming off your shelves. So that is that. And who knows what the new form will be. And we know what the new form will be. We'll see if it works as well. And who knows if what that price will be too. And if you'll have to use insurance and go through your doctor. And that's not how things should be. They're really not. Okay, last part today though, let's switch gears. And that is on dairy and acne. Now I wanted to share this with people because here's the thing. Some people can eat dairy and they're totally fine. and they just think that, well, if it's raw A2 cow's milk, then it's super healthy for you and there's never any issues. It's just not the case. So again, if you're consuming dairy in your diet, it is my opinion, but I think it is well proven out by now, that you should run an IgG food sensitivity test. See if it's causing inflammation. It's super simple to do. You can run the lab test through EquiLife. You can run it through any integrative health practitioner level 2. You can run it through your local naturopathic doctor. But run an IgG food sensitivity test on a full spectrum of dairy. The one that we run is on cow's milk, it's on casein, it's on whey. We run it against goat's protein. It's a great panel. It really is. It's 190 different foods. So you can find that at stephencabral.com/labs, or again, run it with anyone that you like. But the inflammation from dairy for many people causes acne. It can also cause an overproduction of sebum in the oil glands in the skin, which can then get clogged, which can then lead to acne and cystic acne as well. Dairy can cause an increase in androgens in the body, so it can affect androgens, potentially testosterone. It could lead to higher levels of estrogen. It can also lead to higher levels of insulin when you consume dairy, and it can lead to higher levels of insulin growth factor or IGF-1. So any one of these things, if susceptible, again, it's not going to happen to everybody, but if susceptible, could lead to acne. So what I'm saying is, if you are someone with acne or skin rashes, if you can run the lab or not. So you can run your at-home lab or not. That's up to you. But let's say that you don't want to. If you eliminate dairy for a month, 21 to 28 days, and you keep everything else the same, so that's the only variable change, and you see your skin dramatically improve, understand that it very well may be dairy, and no matter how beneficial you think dairy is for you, it might not be right for you. That is why we preach bioindividuality. It's why, again, I can't say, oh, this person's completely right about that, or that person's completely wrong about that, because oftentimes there are points of validity, but not for all people, right? And so that's what I try to share with people as well. It's like, yeah, the amount of cholesterol you consume on a daily basis may not matter for some people, but it absolutely does matter for others. They do not have the ability to clear that cholesterol as fast as others. And there's only so much cholesterol you need for hormone production and cell membrane viability. So I just wanted to share that with you. I'm going to link up just one study, but honestly, you can go to Google Scholar yourself or PubMed, and you can just type in dairy and acne, and you're going to get a lot of different studies, and you can read some pros, some cons, and that's why, again, I share with you what's right for one individual may not be right for you. Hopefully the show was helpful today. I appreciate you. I thank you. On the weekend edition of the Cabral Concept, these are called our Cabral House Calls. Every Saturday and Sunday, we answer about a dozen of our community's questions. Definitely stay tuned for those. Again, all shows can be found at stephencabral.com/podcast. We thank you. We appreciate you. Have an amazing weekend. Talk to you soon. Before you go, I wanted to share a personal story with you. The real reason I began to get well finally is because I figured out what was wrong with me. And that might seem pretty obvious, but I went from doctor to doctor for over 2 years before discovering at-home functional medicine lab testing. These are the labs that enabled me to finally figure out what was wrong with my hormones, blood sugar, electrolytes, and gut health. And once I knew what was wrong, I could then follow a proven plan in order to rebalance my body from the inside out. This is why I believe so strongly in functional medicine lab testing and why I've made it my mission to share these labs with the world. Now at equi.life, you can order an at-home lab test or lab bundle for you and your family and be able to complete it within the week. Plus, the EquiLife difference is that you're not left to try to read and figure out these labs on your own. We explain what your lab numbers mean, what they mean in the much bigger picture, and then how to go about rebalancing your body in order to heal. To see our full selection of lab tests or to set up a free lab selection call to find out what labs may be best for you, simply head on over to equi.life/labs. And do remember, we ship these all over the world. To find out more and to set up your free lab selection call, simply head on over to equi.life/labs. That's EQUI.LIFE/labs.